So I'm done with my junior year of college, I'm back in LA, and it's time to review Man of Steel. So from what I've heard, Warner Brothers in DC has the mindset to make this the Kickstarter for the DC cinematic universe in hopes to make a Justice League movie and rival Marvel. So is this a great startup as well as a great reintroduction of Superman? Or is it doomed like Krypton? I don't know, let's talk about it. Man of Steel is obviously the first movie in a new Superman series, and as such, we gotta see the origin of Superman. Again. However, in this movie, General Zod is the villain, played by Michael Shannon, and he is after Kal-El, or Clark Kent, to reclaim him and possibly restore Krypton after its destruction at the beginning of the movie. And I'm not saying spoiler for that, and that should not even be a spoiler, because Superman's origin is so iconic that you gotta be living in a cave somewhere to not know Superman's origin. So I've been hearing a lot of mixed things about this movie. I mean, the hype, I thought, much like the Dark Knight trilogy, was ridiculous. Probably that has to do with Christopher Nolan having his name on here as producer, which, I'm going to get this out of the way. There is not an ounce of any Christopher Nolan isms in this movie. It really is more of Zack Snyder's movie. One thing I was worried about was that we would have to tell the origin of Superman again, because like Spider-Man and Batman, Superman's origin is so iconic that it would just be a waste of time to show it again. And that was my big problem with The Amazing Spider-Man. As much as I liked it, and you can look on my old channel for the review of that, the origin was so well known, and it's been adapted to film before, it was just a waste of time. You give excuse to Batman because there was never really a film version of his origin. But Superman, for God's sake, Superman had an entire TV series dedicated to his origin story. Luckily, the movie doesn't play out his origin story the way I thought they would. As soon as his pod crashes into Earth, we cut to an adult Clark Kent, which I was like, okay, that's cool. And they show his childhood through flashbacks, and I was like, oh, that's kind of neat also. At first. After a while, it starts to get really tiresome and kind of boring at points. The movie also can be very slow. I mean, along with the flashbacks, there are a lot of pretty slow moments and not all that exciting at points. Two other things I have problems with was Russell Crowe as Jor-El. I mean, Russell Crowe is one of those actors that he just seemed to give up the more he went along, and he's not particularly good here as Jor-El. He just didn't seem all that interested. The guy seems to forget how to emote with his face. But what they do with the character of Jor-El, I actually like. He seemed like an ideal casting choice for Jor-El, but he just didn't really put his all into it. One thing that I knew as soon as this movie was announced that wasn't going to be really great was the score. As good as the score is from Hans Zimmer, and it really fits the mood for this movie, it does not come anywhere close to the iconic Superman theme that John Williams created. I mean, but that's a nitpick of mine. You are never, try your damnedest, if you try to outdo John Williams, you are going to fail every time. Now, I gotta get away from the negatives, because this movie actually is pretty good. I enjoyed it more than I didn't. Henry Cavill is, I hope that's how you pronounce his last name. Anyway, he's really good as Kal-El / Clark Kent / Superman. He seemed to be on par with Christopher Reeve, and he looked kind of like how Superman did in the animated series that came out in the 90s. I love how more complicated Kal-El's life had to be when adapting to Earth and trying to keep the fact that he's Kryptonian a secret. I thought at points that was handled pretty well. Amy Adams and Michael Shannon are really good also as Lois Lane and General Zod, respectively. However, with General Zod, I kind of wish he was in it more at points. And I don't like what they did with him at the end of the movie, but that's up for you to see. I thought the movie was really well shot and had really good cinematography, and the action scenes are pretty cool to watch. But the problem with the action scenes is they seem to go on too long, and this is just a personal problem I have. It's hard for me to get invested in a character who's practically invincible, or in this case characters, because it's like basically Superman fighting General Zod and his crew, and all the action happens at the end of the movie, and it just goes on for too long. Another thing is that Superman seems to be pretty reckless when it comes to fighting. I mean, some could argue that it's a young Superman that's still adapting to his powers, and I could buy into that. It's just, I guess because I'm so embedded with the idea that Superman is so devoted to protecting the people, that for him to just be as reckless as he is a little off-putting. Again, despite the fact that it's a bunch of guys who are practically invincible to humans, the action scenes are fun to watch. In the end, I do prefer the original Richard Donner movie over this movie, but it's still good. It's still an entertaining movie, and that's my rating. It's good, but it's not great. I felt like it wasn't as strong as I imagined it to be, and in terms of setting up the DC Cinematic Universe, if they really are doing it, it didn't pack the punch that Iron Man did when setting up the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I can't wait to see what happens. I hope it gets better. I hope more DC heroes are adapted so I can finally get into the DC universe through film. So yeah, Man of Steel, it's good, but it's, again, not great. With that, that is my review for Man of Steel. This has been The Cinemas with Mr. Robinson. Leave a comment, subscribe, check out my other channel, AlexG8462. And next time, I'll give you my impressions what I thought of the first Superman series. But until then, I will see you guys later.